You are good at your job. You solve problems before anyone notices them. You deliver on time every time. You never make excuses. And somehow, you are still underpaid. Here's what the organization never tells you. The better you are at your job, the harder it becomes for the organization to justify paying you more. By the end of this video, you are going to understand the exact mechanism that ties your competence to your compensation ceiling. And once you see it, you will never read a performance review the same way again. Start with how organizations actually set salaries. Most people believe salaries reflect output. They do not. Salaries reflect replacement cost, the organization's internal estimate of what it would cost in time and resources to replace you if you left tomorrow. That number is not calculated once and archived. It is revised continuously, and it is shaped almost entirely by the signals you send. Here's how the calculation works in practice. Every organization carries a compensation budget. That budget is not distributed by merit. It flows toward friction, toward the employees who create pressure on the system, the new hire who negotiated hard before accepting the offer, the employee who mentioned in passing that a competitor had reached out, the person who pushed back, calmly but clearly, at their last review. These are the employees a manager flags as requiring active investment to retain. The competent, reliable employee who delivers everything and says nothing, that employee is categorized as retained, no further action required. The budget moves on. The organization is not paying your past performance. It's not rewarding your consistency. It's paying for its estimate of your future disruption potential. And it has learned to calibrate that estimate based on one thing: the gap between what you produce and how much friction you generate when the compensation does not reflect it. Think about someone who's been at a company for 4 years. They're the most dependable person on the team. Their manager trusts them completely. Every year, they receive a 3% raise, thank their manager, and return to work. Meanwhile, a new hire joins the same team in a nearly identical role at a salary 20% higher because the recruiter had to compete for them. The 4-year employee's loyalty was rewarded with whatever budget remained after the organization secured the people it was actually worried about losing. The 4-year employee does not know this is happening. They were told their review went well. They were told they are valued. Both things are true. Neither is connected to the budget decision that was made 3 weeks earlier. That's not an oversight. That's the system doing exactly what it was designed to do. Now, here are the hidden consequences, and each one compounds the last. The first, your competence becomes your ceiling. The better you are, the more the organization builds its operations around your presence. Processes get designed assuming you'll handle certain problems. Decisions get deferred to your judgment. You become quietly load-bearing. And load-bearing employees are rarely promoted. Moving them creates a structural gap the organization doesn't know how to fill, so they're left in place and told it's because they are valued. The second, your reliability removes your leverage. Leverage in compensation is not a product of hard work, it's a product of uncertainty. When the organization is uncertain whether you'll stay, it acts. When it's certain you'll stay, because you always have, it allocates its retention budget to the employees whose continuation is less certain. Every year you accept the outcome without visible tension, you make the organization slightly more confident in its calculation. The third, the organization begins to read your silence as satisfaction. If you were unhappy, you would say something. The fact that you have not said anything is, from the organization's perspective, evidence that the arrangement is working. This is not a cynical assumption. It's a rational interpretation of the information it has available. You have given the organization no data to the contrary, and so it acts on what it knows. Here's the part nobody warns you about. The most underpaid employees in any organization are frequently the ones whose departure would cause the most damage. The organization understands this. The manager understands this. Senior leaders understand this. It is understood clearly across every level that matters and rarely acknowledged directly, because acknowledging it would require doing something about it. The silence is not accidental. It's part of the mechanism. This is where the real danger sits, not in the first year you were underpaid, but in the moment you decided the organization would eventually notice and make it right on its own. That belief is one of the most expensive assumptions a high-performing employee can carry. Organizations do not audit their inequities without external pressure. They hold the current arrangement until something in the environment changes. Every year without friction is data. The organization reads your absence of complaint as confirmation that the arrangement is acceptable, and it will continue offering the same arrangement consistently, efficiently, and without any particular ill will until the signal you send changes. You did everything right. You showed up, you were reliable, you solved problems that weren't even yours to solve, you made your manager's job easier, you made the team look better than it was, you absorbed work that would otherwise have become someone else's crisis. None of that was wrong. What you were never told, what nobody told you, is that organizations don't pay for effort, they pay for pressure. This is a system that rewards the application of pressure. You were never given the information that would have let you create it. That's not a reflection of your worth. It's a failure of what you were taught about how this works. Now here's what actually governs who gets paid more. Replacement urgency, not performance scores, not tenure, not how clearly your manager values you in conversation. The organization increases compensation when the calculation shifts, when the perceived cost of your departure becomes more immediate than the cost of paying you more now. One thing reliably shifts that calculation: the visible presence of an alternative. An external offer, a conversation where you mention, not as a threat, but as information, that you have been considering your options. That single signal changes your category in the manager's internal model. You move from retained to at risk, and retention budget follows risk, not tenure. This is why external market data matters more than internal performance scores in any compensation conversation. The organization is not comparing you to your past self. It's comparing the cost of keeping you to the cost of replacing you. Those are different calculations. Only one of them benefits from knowing what the market currently pays for your skill set. The timing matters too. The employee who raises compensation before completing a major deliverable holds more leverage than the employee who raises it afterwards. Once the organization has received the outcome it needed from you, the urgency to retain you for that cycle decreases. The moment of maximum leverage is before the delivery, not after. Every compensation conversation that ends with no friction trains the system for the same outcome next time. Every number you accept without visible consideration teaches the system where your floor is, and the system will stay there. Not out of cruelty, out of efficiency. Systems don't move until they are given a reason to. That's corporate GPS, the map they never handed you.